Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I work with a lot of individuals with attachment wounds. I work with a lot of avoidant individuals, and this was requested. I wanted to make a video about the signs that an avoidant is changing and healing. And this is very important, and I will explain why, and then we're going to jump in. The attachment wounds that avoidants have, they can create significant barriers, especially if it continues to the deactivation strategies continue throughout the relationship and there is no progress. In fact, it's making it worse. It's very hard to have a relationship, a fulfilling relationship with an avoidant. Not calling you guys out if you're an avoidant. I'm just being honest, okay? And so an avoidant that is not changing could very well completely sabotage the entire relationship. Even if the partner has made all the changes in the world, if the avoidant individual is not adjusting, this relationship is going to struggle. And actually, in general, both individuals probably always have to adjust a little bit in order for a relationship to work. And avoidants are not immune to that. And so it's really important to understand if your partner is avoidant to see if they're changing, because that gives hope for the relationship. And if you're an avoidant individual and you're watching this, maybe it's important to look at this and reflect, is this things that you are doing or it's things that you can implement to make your partner realize that you really do want to change and that the relationship is valuable to you? Now, before we get into it, one thing I will mention, just quickly, I have a video more detailed about this, but I do want to add this in this particular video. Why are avoidants, why do they refrain from changing? Well, there are many reasons, but one of the main reasons is because by changing, they have to admit that they made mistakes and that they're flawed, and we're all flawed. But that is a wound that they have because they deeply believe that there's something wrong with them, right? That they're broken, that they're different, and they have to accept that. And so by not changing, they have a defense mechanism, right? Denial and multiple other defense mechanisms on top of this to protect themselves from facing the fear, the wound that they likely developed in childhood, that they are not able to be fixed, that they're broken, that they're wrong, that they deserve to be alone. That's what they think. They think that way. And so a lot of times when individuals who are avoidant and they have to change, other things start popping up in their mind. They start thinking things like, if I was wrong about this, what else am I wrong about? Can I trust myself? How did I become this way? And it's very hard for them to accept that maybe they've been living this way for a long time and they missed out on a lot. And it's easier just to stay the way they are instead of facing those fears. That's one of the reasons. Now, there are multiple reasons, and I made a video on it, and I can make more, but that's one of the main reasons why avoidants don't like to change. And from my experience, avoidants are more resistant to change in general. Like just in general. Not even by themselves, but just in general, right? Like, even like weather changes, they don't like it. Some of them really don't, because then they're thinking, okay, if it's snowing, I can't go into work today and I have to telework, or I have to do this, or I don't like that. I can't go to the grocery store on the specific time I like to go. Like, they don't even like changes in their environment. So changing themselves, that one's a tough one, right? Because that's the most consistent thing they have. They have trust issues, right? And they don't like uncertainty. So what is change? Uncertainty. They don't know the result. And so they hold on very tightly to things. But it's not personal. A lot of people believe that an avoidant, if they love you, they will change. I wish it was that easy, but that's not always the case. It is sometimes, but it's not always the case. But if an avoidant does not change, the relationship may really struggle. It's going to be really hard. So this is really important to know this, okay? So the very first one is, this is one sign that I feel is really important if an avoidant is changing and healing. It's apologizing, especially being quick to apologizing when they did something, or they said something harsh, or they cut you off, or they said something they didn't mean. Because by saying, I'm sorry, or I shouldn't have done that, they admit, okay, everyone makes mistakes, including me, which allows them to face that wound they have, right? The fear of not being perfect or being flawed. Because it's not really not being perfect. It's more that they're flawed. By admitting they apologize, they slowly admitting, okay, I'm flawed, not flawed, but I have, I make mistakes. Everybody does. Mistakes are not that bad. They're not detrimental. They're not going to blow up in my face. And if you accept their apology, which I would hope that you would if you guys are, close and it's not that bad, it really helps them to feel like a positive reinforcement. Wow, my apology was accepted. This isn't bad. This feels good. This feels good because I was guilty and I am guilty, but I don't like to apologize because I don't like to admit I'm wrong. But now that I'm apologizing and I was accepted, that feels good. I'm going to do it more. That's what ends up happening, right? And so that's very important. The next one, and I like this one. I see this a lot when an avoidant is changing, healing, and a lot of times when they're falling in love, right? They speak more gentle to their partner when they notice their partner is sad or emotional. Oh, I love this one. I see it in session a lot, and it's just so sweet. And I in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is a good sign. I'm seeing growth with this couple, right? Like, I love this one. So an example could be maybe their partner, I don't know, they brought up like, you told me that you would do this and you forgot. I know you didn't mean it like that, but I was really hopeful about it. And I know it's not your fault, but now the time is over. And I know you didn't mean it. And as they're explaining certain things, they're not doing it in a confrontational, angry way. This is the partner. And they're just sad and emotional. And the avoidant feels bad and they feel gentle towards their partner. They feel, I don't want my partner to feel sad. And a lot of times they may communicate this. Like, I don't like seeing you sad. I feel bad about that. What can I do? I want to make it up to you. They're gentle. They're not angry. They speak softly. Sometimes they'll even hold their partner because they don't want to hurt their partner. And you can really see that, okay? So speaking gentle towards you. The next one, I like this one too. I like all of them. And it's telling you the truth instead of telling you what you want to hear. If you mention, I really want to go do this thing on Saturday. Let's say you're the partner, and the avoidant partner, maybe if they're not changing, they might say, okay, I'll let you know. But if they're going to tell you the truth, they might say, I have plans on Saturday, or Saturday was a day that I want to decompress because I know Friday's going to be a rough day. So I don't want to do anything on Saturday, but if you are available for Sunday, I'm good with that. They tell you the truth, even if you might get upset. Because you have the right to be upset, and then you guys can work it out. But telling you the truth instead of what you want to hear is really important, okay? The next one is making adjustments in their life to accommodate your presence in their life, right? And so, speaking of the Saturday example, maybe they wanted the whole weekend to themselves, but they adjusted, right? Okay, I'm not going to do Saturday. I can't for X, Y, and Z, but how about Sunday? They accommodated. They made adjustments for you in their life. Maybe before they would cancel on you a lot. Now you're seeing that they don't cancel on you, they keep their word, and they always try to see you. That's a sign that they're changing. And it's really important because this also allows them to challenge some of their fears of vulnerability and connection, and their fear of failure. They overcame their fear of failure by letting you in, even after they may have made mistakes, because we all make mistakes in relationships, okay? So that's a really important one. And the last one is becomes less reactive towards their triggers. So maybe before they got really triggered when you would cry. That's a common one. Avoidants don't like when you cry, especially in the beginning of a relationship. But now when you cry, they're more understanding. They hug you. Even if they don't know what to say, maybe they just put their arm around you. They're trying, right? in their own way. And instead of getting angry or shutting down, they're putting a little bit of their heart into it. And that's a really big sign. And so I wanted to make this video quick because I feel that I just wanted to make a quick list for somebody if they really needed it, but we'll go over it quickly. Them apologizing, so being quick to apologize, speaking more gently towards you when you have a sad emotion or you're emotional in general. When they tell you the truth instead of what you want to hear, they make adjustments for you in their life and accommodate you in their life, and they become less reactive towards their triggers, okay? Go ahead and subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one.